Right now, trillions of dollars are moving across the planet. But here is the secret the banking system never tells you. Not a single physical dollar is going anywhere. Money doesn't move. It never has. When you wire money internationally, no armored truck rolls. No vault opens. What actually happens is a synchronized series of text messages between banks, quietly updating numbers and ledgers on opposite sides of the world. Money is just information, a trusted message. And that single truth, that the entire global financial system runs on synchronized ledger adjustments, is both its greatest achievement and its most dangerous vulnerability. February 2016. A group of hackers linked to North Korea's elite Lazarus group had spent months inside the Bangladesh bank's computer systems. Their target, nearly $1 billion sitting in an account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. They didn't blow a safe. They didn't forge a check. They simply sent authenticated SWIFT messages, the same kind your bank sends every day, requesting transfers totaling nearly $1 billion. The system believed every single one. Exploiting a weekend timing gap between Dhaka and New York, $81 million vanished into Filipino casino accounts before anyone noticed. The remaining transfers were stopped by a single spelling mistake, the word foundation instead of foundation. A typo saved $900 million. The Bangladesh bank heist proved something chilling. In a system built entirely on trusted messages, the most dangerous weapon isn't a bomb. It's a convincing email. To understand how big this invisible system truly is, consider this. The U.S. Federal Reserve's Fedwire network processes between $4 and $5 trillion every single day. That is the entire annual GDP of the United States, every 6 days. But here is the counterintuitive genius of how clearinghouses actually work. A system called CHIPS, the Clearinghouse Interbank Payment System, clears nearly $3 trillion daily using a trick called netting. Banks don't pay each other everything they owe. They net the difference. If Bank A owes Bank B $10 billion and Bank B owes Bank A $9 billion, only $1 billion actually changes hands. This elegant trick is why the system works, and why only 15 master accounts control 77% of all Fedwire value. And every afternoon, between 3 and 4:30 p.m., something extraordinary happens. Banks play a high-stakes game of financial chicken, deliberately hoarding trillions of dollars, waiting for competitors to pay first, creating a colossal daily traffic jam in the invisible network. If money is just information, then SWIFT is the financial world's air traffic control. The Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, founded in 1973, connects over 11,500 financial institutions across 200 countries. Every day, SWIFT routes over 53 million messages, hitting a record 68 million in 2025. Yet SWIFT holds $0. Not 1 cent. It is purely a secure messaging platform, the postal service of the global financial system. When you send an international wire, the actual money sits in pre-funded accounts, called nostro and vostro accounts, from the Latin for ours and yours, while SWIFT messages hop through a chain of correspondent banks like a relay race across time zones. This explains why international transfers take 1 to 5 business days. A Friday wire from Chicago doesn't reach Tokyo until Monday because Tokyo's bankers are asleep. Ancient Latin terms and modern time zones conspire to slow the world's fastest network to a crawl. SWIFT's newer global payments innovation system now delivers 75% of transfers to destination banks within 10 minutes. But local compliance checks, anti-money laundering reviews, and currency conversions still delay the final credit to your account. For decades, SWIFT operated as a neutral Belgian cooperative. Then governments discovered something extraordinary. Controlling the world's financial messaging network was the most powerful economic weapon ever created, more devastating than any trade tariff. In March 2012, the European Union, pressured by Washington, ordered SWIFT to disconnect Iranian banks. The consequences were immediate and catastrophic. Iran lost nearly half of its oil export revenues and 30% of its foreign trade virtually overnight. The message to the world was unmistakable. Disconnecting a country from a Belgian messaging app could destroy its economy faster than any military blockade. The invisible network had become the ultimate instrument of geopolitical power. Then came Ukraine. On March 12, 2022, major Russian banks, including VTB, were cut from SWIFT following Russia's invasion. The economic shock was severe, but the unintended consequences would reshape the entire global financial system. Forced into financial exile, Russia accelerated its own messaging network, SBFS, expanding it to 556 organizations across 20 countries. Simultaneously, Moscow deepened its integration with China's CIPS, a direct SWIFT competitor. The West's most powerful financial weapon had accidentally done what decades of diplomacy could not: unite Russia, China, and dozens of nations around building a parallel, sanctions-resistant global financial architecture, a BRICS alternative to SWIFT. The global financial system, once a single, unified invisible network, is fracturing. What began as a neutral messaging cooperative in 1973 has become the front line of 21st century geopolitical warfare, and the scammers are watching too. Fraudsters exploit public confusion about how international money transfers work, inventing fake terms like MT-103 manual downloads to convince victims that their money is floating in a digital void, waiting to be released. The invisible network moves the world's wealth, shapes the fate of nations, and remains the target of hackers, governments, and fraudsters alike. The real question isn't how money moves, it's who controls the messages. And what happens when the world stops agreeing?